Hi, Jay here. Well, I got my Frankford Arsenal rotary tumbler in. This is a wet cleaning, like the Tumbler's tumbler that's been real popular here. Frankford Arsenal came out with one specifically for brass, not just a general purpose, which is more like a Tumbler's tumbler or a rock polisher that you can get at like Radio Shack or Harbor Freight. They sell a 3-pound one for like $40 at Harbor Freight that people are using, with a little canister about that big around, about that long. This one being specifically designed for brass. It's got a lot of features just for us reloaders. It's got a plastic barrel that has the flats on it like the Tumbler's tumbler, which is where they get the agitation. It's got caps in both ends with clear lenses in them, and it's also got these strainers. What's good about that is on the Tumbler's tumbler, it's basically a steel kettle with a rubber liner and a rubber seal gasket on top. And if you watch the other videos online, using a Tumbler's tumbler is a little wonky. This one, the rubber liner is molded on the inside of the plastic. It doesn't flop or anything. You just screw it in like a bleach bottle. The end caps, I mean. So it's real easy to use, fill, and drain. Why would you use a wet tumbler? They use a different media. They use, if you can see here in this picture, they use steel pins or ceramic balls not double entendre. They use steel pins, ceramic balls, steel balls, different things, a little bit of a cleaning agent, usually Dawn soap, and some kind of an acidic material to put in it like Lemmy Shine. And it breaks all the carbon and the oils and the lead and just strips it off real quick. Like, most people say they run it for an hour and it looks like it just came out of the factory. It's brand new. The primer pockets are clean. Down in the actual cartridge itself is clean, the brass hull, which is hard to do, especially for rounds like a 223. Put that anywhere. For rounds like a 223, which use, and you're trying to use a dry vibrating media, like corn cob or walnut hulls. It's to get down in the tall, thin shell. It doesn't always get clean. You get a lot of stuck media down in it or down in the primer holes. With this, well, about the primer hole thing getting stuck, hold on, I'll get to that in a minute. But with this, you don't get that. I mean, it's like washing your clothes. You put it in this agitator. You put the steel pins, a little bit of cleaning agent, turn it on. It's like a dishwasher or a clothes washer or whatever. So it's quicker. It gets your brass a lot cleaner, especially if you have really dirty brass or corroded brass. It really cleans them up good. And also, now here's a big thing. I don't vibrate mine in the house. I usually take mine on the back porch. But if you do vibrate in the house, and you've noticed all that dust and lead dirt and all that, the dirt and crap coming out when you vibrate them, well, wait till you look on the videos and see what really comes off shells when you wash them like this. I mean, the water is black, and you're putting all that up in your atmosphere in your house if you're tumbling inside with a vibrating tumbler. With this, you don't get that. It's like washing clothes. It takes all that lead and contaminants and mercury from the primer, capsulated in the detergent and water solution, which you pour off, and thereby, all your pollutant is the groundwater. But so anyway, it's brand new. Just got it in. Haven't even unwrapped it yet. I'll be doing a video where I put my first load through. I was going to do that, but then I realized you read the instructions and it says you need to agitate the pins for a while with just soap to get the lubricant they put on the pins when they were fabricated. I didn't know that, so now I got to do that. So that's going to put me a day behind. So it's going to be my first foray into wet media cleaning, and if it works, then I'll use it on my pistol shells too. Most of my pistol shells I get reasonably clean using my Lyman 1200, vibratory polish or tumbler or whatever you want to call it. I've just about exclusively used corn cob. I've got walnut hull and pecan hull, but I don't like the way it looks. The corn cob seems to work the best for me, with some additives. Now, one of the things you're saying, well, it sounds like magic. Well, it's a little bit dirtier cleanup wet-wise, because you got to pour, you know, there's a gallon of water in here and it's dirty, you got to pour it out, you got to rinse it and pour it out, and you know, there's then you have these little steel pins. You know, you thought it was bad stepping on a pecan hole in the middle of the night in bare shoes or bare feet. I don't think I want to step on these 0.41 diameter, centimeter long pins that are included with the kit. I think that might hurt. And let me talk about what comes with the kit. Again, I said it comes with the Tumbler, the base motor unit, which is geared, not belt driven. So there's no belts to replace, which is a big complaint about the other brands. It comes with clear end caps, and from the reviews, I like a lot of people assumed that they'd scratch up real quick, you know, with the brass tumbling, but from the reviews of other people that's had it, and this hadn't been out in a couple months, but from their reviews, works fine. It doesn't scratch it. You can see the agitation like in your clothes washer. It also comes with these end caps for straining the straining the cartridges from the water, dirty water and steel pins and all that crap. And it also comes with 5 pounds of steel pins. Well, you're probably sitting there going, well, duh. Well, these things are actually expensive. And let me get into that. It comes with 5 pounds of .041 diameter steel pins. A lot of people don't like those. They say on some rounds that the pins are small enough that they can bind together wetly and stick into the primer hole like that, forcing you to dig them out. Makes sense to me, but from what I read on the internet, that's not a big issue as you'd think. You know, I've read many of them that says, yeah, I had 1 or 2 out of, you know, several hundred. I can live with that. I had more than that with pecan shells getting stuck in the primer hole. So anyway, it comes with the media, a free bag of their special detergent. Now what it is basically Dawn with Lemmy Shine mixed in it, citric acid and some kind of a detergent, which is exactly what Dawn soap and Lemmy Shine is. But you get a bag of that for free, and you don't use much. If you look on the reviews, you only use like a drop of Dawn and half a cap of like a 1/4 teaspoon of Lemmy Shine. That's it. So it lasts forever. So you get all this. It's got a timer built into it, which is great. You don't have to keep checking on it. You set your, well, you do should check on it, but you set your timer and it turns itself off. All that, I think that when they first came out, Graff & Sons had them as a special, $180 shipped or $186 or something. I got this one for $215 from Amazon, but that included next day air shipping or prime shipping or whatever. So it was a deal for me. And I'm gonna run some 223 because it says right here will hold 1,000 223, and I'll show you why in just a second. But one of the other things I got is this rotary case media separator. I've already got one. I've got the Frankford Arsenal one that sits on a 5-gallon bucket. But it's basically the interior ball like that, the spinner ball, like a salad spinner ball. It sits on top of a 5-gallon bucket. It doesn't have a cover or anything. It's made for walnut media and stuff. It's not made to use inside with liquids. This one a lot of people are using because it's a seal. It has a clamshell cover. So it keeps you from slinging the dripping water, you know, after you drain it the first time and you want to get the rest of the pins out. It keeps you from doing that. And I'll have more on that. But anyway, this is like $35. It's cheap. I figure what the hell, I could use it for a secondary pecan or dry media separator if I had to for $35. And that included shipping. So these are the 2 items. I haven't even opened them yet. I'll be doing a video on that. Now let me show you why and some of the setup I've got going on for the 223 and 308 that I'm going to wind up using here. Alright, so hold on just a second. Hi, it's Jay. I'm back. Hey, look. I got a lead set up. So for all you guys out there calling me a Dylan whore, look, I do have some leads. I even got my Pro 1000 out. And my rock chuckers up under there. I was going to use one of those, but I said, oh, I'm going to go old school and put my lead single stage back up. Well, as you can see, I have it set up as a universal decapping station with the lead decapping die. And I've been depriming this 223 ammo or brass I've got. I've got a couple of 2.5 gallon buckets full. It's a mixture of nice once shot brass and just scummy range pickups. And, I mean, I've got some nasty ones in there that like were green just buried in the dirt. So I'm going through right now, not resizing at all, just depriming them. And apparently the lead gods are not smiling upon me, because inside of here there's a little spring-loaded finger that pops the primers out into the little primer hole. Well, as you can tell, I got primers everywhere. I got a towel down. I got primers from one end of this room to the other. Apparently, I can't find my little springy thingy, so I got this little piece here that most of it's landing on. So I've got I'd say probably 3,000 rounds of brass, guessing, but maybe a little bit more. And going through and depriming these. Then I'm going to try the wet cleaner first before I resize or anything. So I'm going to try the wet primer. That's not what I said, was it? Wet cleaner, the wet tumbler. And I'm going to tumble these and see how good and clean I can get them. This is my first foray into rifle reloading in a long time. I load pistol like crazy, and I did load some, single stage load some rifle ammo. But this is, I'm going to use my Dillons and go for a full, production run. So I've set up, and I'm going to deprime all this. I'm going to use the wet polisher, and I'm going to go back and resize them and set up. I've got my Dillon 600 Swager that I'm going to set up and make sure that all the military crimps are out of it and all the pockets, primer pockets, are resized correctly. That I'll be doing a video on that too, because there's a cool way you mount it with something like this set up and a rubber band. You can fling the, anyway, I'll show you that. But also wanted to comment on some of the stuff I got to go with the wet tumbler. First, everybody says to get one of these. It's a magnet with a release. It's great for getting the pins out. I think this one's, I don't know, 15 pounds. You don't need a big one. It's like $6 off of Amazon, one of those add-on items. Here, of course, is the Lemmy Shine. I think mine. This came with mine for free when I bought mine. I'm pretty sure that it was like a freebie they gave you for buying through that Prime vendor. But anyway, and then I bought this. Now, like I said, I had the Frankford Arsenal rotary media separator that sits on a 5-gallon bucket, and well, that's a 2.5-gallon bucket. It sits on a 5-gallon bucket. And you spin it. Well, I got that new covered one. Well, I thought, hey, here's a cool little bucket. It's made by Frankford Arsenal. Wow, Dillon and Frankford Arsenal, go true blue. But this is a standard media separator. It's just the old shake and shift sake. I shouldn't make videos early in the morning. It's like 6 o'clock here. I gotta have my coffee and I'm all like zapped now. But you can just shake and sift. It's hard to say without saying a bad word. But, so I got that to use also. You don't have to. I just thought that'd be, especially when I'm still using my my pistol cartridges and my dry vibratory tumbler. So this will be great. That'll help get that walnut and corncob meat out of there real quick. All right. That's it, except I'll show you a glimpse of what the twins have been working on all week. So, hold on, I'll switch over there. Well, here we are in front of the twins by 2 RL550's. I got a lot of people do that, especially friends, because some of them still use Lee's, and they're like, "You're such a Dillon whore." Not really. We were having a discussion about this on Brian Enos's forum. He's got some funky name for it, Mackie Doo. So, anyway, we were having a discussion because a guy was going to switch from a Hornady L&L to a Dillon 650, and I chimed in, and I said, well, and I said, oh my God, it sounds like I'm making a Dillon commercial, and it did. But my biggest point is, I still have my Lee Pro 1000s and my Lee single stage, and I have an RCBS, standard rock crusher, Uber, one that everybody gets when they first start reloading, and I also have my Lee single stage, as you saw. But the point I was trying to make was, these are more expensive, yes, but the operation, the quality of the build, and the way the systems all work together make you when you run this system, you feel like you're getting your money's worth. If you want to compare a Pinto and a Mercedes, if that's a perfect thing. You get in a Pinto at a certain price point, there you go. And you expect the Mercedes at a certain price point to be, oh my God. And that's the point I was trying to make. I just couldn't verbally express it or written. You know what I meant. I couldn't express myself the way I wanted to. But when you use a Dylan, it's just liquid sex, man. I mean, it just everything's smooth. And I know people say, "Oh, well, they're not perfect." They're not. I mean, I have problems, but they're few and far between. Like this one. Oh my God, I've probably loaded, no kidding, 1,500 rounds of 9mm. Just one after the other. Dead on perfect. I check, I do my QA every so often. I think for the powder, I check about every 25, 50 rounds. The measurements, I check every 100th, something like that. And the thing, once it's set up and locked in, this thing just spits bullets out. The OAL is all right. Even with the crimp, the shoulder is right, so it sits in the barrel on the 9mm. The powder throws within .05 every time. I think I've got, don't quote me, but I think this one's set up for 6.4 grains of AC5, AA number 5. And every time you check it, 6.4, 6.4. Every once in a while you get a 6.5, but maybe because I'm riding that line, and it varies about 0.5 of a grain. But I mean, just days of just refilling. You refill the primer. It got boring. I mean, you refill the primers and the bullets would fall out. And I like reloading. And also, this one's set up to run 45 ACP. I think I've loaded about, 700 rounds of it. I loaded a couple of different loads, like 185 grain hollowback. I did some subsonics in that. And then I did some regular power. Then I did 230 grain subsonics. And now I'm doing 230 grain standard military loads. These are 8.4 grains of AA number 5, I think. It's funny, these are almost like the same set. Or this one's 2 grains more than that one for a 45 to a 9. And, I mean, look. I mean, these things look like they came out of the freaking factory. Using Tula primers that I bought back during the scare. And I better not use up all my powder because apparently there's a powder scare now. But anyway, so the twin's been going strong. Loading up as quick as I can. I'll be tumbling some more. 223, 308. Be loading up. 762 by 54R. I've been working on getting my steel casings. I didn't think you could reload them. I've been throwing them away. But I haven't been throwing them away. I've been saving them. I didn't think you could reload them. And then Steve HQ98, I think, I'll post a link, has showed how you can reload the steel ones. So anyway, that's what I got going on. So watch for some more videos. And I'll have more on how that Frankford, not Franklin Mint, the Frankford Arsenal wet tumbler does in the next couple of days. All right? Thanks. Keep on shooting. Give me a thumbs up. I don't care. You know that. If you have any questions, post them below in the comments or PM me. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. Again, this is Jay. Have a good day.